We will skip past chapters 14, 15 and 16, where the 7 archangels attack the world with 7 plagues. In chapter 17, however, exists another mystery, another hidden secret of the revelation. Or at least, it was a mystery, until right now. As written in chapter 17, verse 3, "So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Now, do we really need to rediscuss the beast with 7 heads and 10 horns, that was just mentioned, to begin chapters 12 and 13? Then, still in chapter 17, verse 4, it states, "And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication." This is an exact description of the Hebrew tribes constructing the tabernacle, the altar and courtyard, for their Lord, in Exodus, chapters 36 to 39. And in those chapters, are over a dozen references to the color code, purple and scarlet. So, is this vision hinting at the tribes of Israel? Well, right after verse 4, comes verse 5, in chapter 17, "And as it is written, and upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth." The first keyword is forehead, and this originates as expected, in the Old Testament. The best example is seen in the book of Ezekiel, chapter 9, verses 4 to 6. "And the Lord said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that are done in its midst." The second keyword is the word harlot, and there is only one reference to one community described as playing the harlot in the Old Testament. That verse is found in the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 15, "Though thou, Israel, play the harlot." However, the important keywords were Babylon the Great. And Babylon in the Revelation is not a reference to a kingdom such as Israel, but is a clever reference to all countries in the earth. You will understand why this is in chapter 18. There are still a few other mysteries to be revealed in chapter 17. I offer this as both a form of education and a form of entertainment. Another cleverly written verse about the woman and the 7 heads she sits on is found in chapter 17, verse 9, "And here is the mind which hath wisdom. The 7 heads are 7 mountains on which the woman sitteth." There are 7 prominent mountains in the Old Testament, each mountain being of significance to the Lord Jehovah or Yahweh, whatever one wants to call him. Here is a list of the 7 prominent mountains. Number 1 is the mountains of Ararat, located in Genesis, chapter 8, verse 4. Number 2 is Mount Sinai, which is also called Mount Horeb, located in Exodus, chapter 19, verse 16, and also found in Exodus, chapter 20, verse 12. Number 3 is Mount Nebo, located in Numbers, chapter 20, verses 8 to 12. Number 4 is Mount Gerizim, located in Deuteronomy, chapter 11, verse 29. Number 5 is Mount Ebal, located in Joshua, chapter 8, verses 33 to 35. Number 6 is Mount Zion, located in Joshua, chapter 15, verse 63, and repeated in the second book of Samuel, chapter 5, verse 7. And number 7 is Mount Carmel, located in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 19. Also, in the former days, when the revelation was written, there were also 7 hills in Jerusalem. They were and are as follows. Hill number 1 is the northern summit hill, called Scopus. Hill number 2 is the middle summit hill, called Nob. Hill number 3 is the southern summit hill, called the Mount of Corruption or Mount of Offense. Hill number 4 on the middle ridge is called Mount Zion. Hill number 5 is the Awful Mount. Hill number 6 to the north is known as Fort Antonia. And hill number 7, being the southwest hill, was called the New Mount Zion. Ironically, in similar tradition, there also exists the famed 7 Hills of Rome. The 7 Hills of Rome were and are named as: Number 1, Aventine Hill. Number 2, Kylian Hill. Number 3, Capitoline Hill. Number 4, Esquiline Hill. Number 5, Palatine Hill. Number 6, Quirinal Hill. And number 7, Vimanal Hill. First you get a book, called the New Testament, that promotes two cultures, specifically named Hebrews and Romans, then you get two territories, imitating one another. What is up with this number 7, in Jerusalem and Rome? Could it have something to do with the seven-headed dragon? There is one more chapter 17 mystery to be exposed, and it is written, in verse 10, and there are 7 kings, 5 are fallen and 1 is, and the other is not yet come, and when he cometh, he must continue a short space. The 5 fallen kings were the united monarchy of Israel kings, who were Saul, Ishbaal, David, Solomon, and Rehoboam. The one who is, was Caesar Augustus, the adopted son of Julius Caesar, who was the king of the Roman Empire, which controlled Jerusalem, at the time when the New Testament was written, by Greek writers.